Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NatureCity Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Pradelli, and I'm also the CEO and co-founder of NatureCity, having started the company over 20 years ago with my wife, Beth. And since then, it's been our pleasure to serve over 500,000 Americans by offering the best supplements we can make. Today, I'm excited because I'm going to be joined by my good friend, Jeff Barrie, and we're going to be talking about aloe vera, a passion that we both share. Jeff has been working with the aloe vera plant for, I think, over 40 years and has spent the last 25 years at Aloe Corp. And he actually just retired, so congratulations on that. But he has spent the last 25 years at Aloe Corp, which is one of the premier suppliers of aloe vera, and is a trusted supplier and has been a trusted supplier of NatureCity for many, many years. I think Jeff retired for about 2 weeks before he started his own consulting business. It's called Barrie & Associates, which is going to continue to work in the aloe vera field and supporting companies so they can bring consumers the best aloe products possible. Jeff is also a valued member of the International Aloe Sciences Council, or the IASC, a really important organization that kind of serves as an industry watchdog, making sure consumers are protected and can find good quality aloe vera products. But most of all, Jeff is, a good friend to Beth and I and a wonderful person. And Jeff, welcome and thank you for making time for us today.
Thanks for having me, Carl.
Absolutely. So I always, I'm always interested in people's first experience with aloe vera and like what turned them on, and how they became passionate about the plant. So if you don't mind, just share like how you first were introduced to aloe vera.
My first use of aloe vera started in 1977, so I'm dating myself a little bit, but I go back and I was helping a friend move. I was living in
You were 10 years old, right?
I'm sorry?
You were 10 years old at the time?
I wish. I was helping a friend move, and she had a number of aloe plants in her house, in her apartment rather, and she gave me one, said thank you, and she starts telling me the story of aloe vera, this miraculous plant, and if you burn yourself, it's just going to take the burn away in about 10 seconds. And I graciously accepted the gift, and I was thinking to myself, okay, sure, I'm a cosmetic chemist, I've got a master's degree in biochemistry, and I never heard of this miraculous plant juice. But as fate would have it, a few weeks later, I burned my hand on the oven rack and broke off a piece of aloe. And I said, okay, I'll put this theory to rest. And I rubbed some on the back of my hand, and it felt cool like I expected it to. But then after a little while, the sting stopped, and the redness was pink, and that was disappearing. And about a half an hour later, I'm a believer in aloe vera. I was more surprised when I found out that research on aloe started in 1939. And then I found a company that was growing and processing aloe vera. There's only a couple of companies back then. And got a sample of their juice and started formulating some lotions with it. And whoever tried it just said, this is the best I've ever used. And it wasn't anything that I did that was so great in the formula. It was the aloe, no doubt about it. I had a lot of aloe in that product, and it was so exciting to see what was happening. I made samples. I was giving samples out to friends, and everybody was saying how great this is, and that got me started. That was 1977, and I've been working with aloe vera ever since, and I swear by it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, most people, when you bring up the topic of aloe vera, I mean, most of them really had an experience. It might have been a burn or a sunburn, or just coming in after the sun, and they want to moisturize their skin, and it's aloe vera. I mean, I remember for me, it was a similar thing. I was a teenager, and my mom bought this aloe vera, lotion, topical lotion, that she made us put on after we came from the beach. And I don't think I even knew, Jeff, until I was really in my 30s that you could ingest aloe vera, right? I always thought it was this topical thing you use. And I mean, even today, I mean, you can go look at skincare products in your local drugstore or even the fancier boutiques and some department stores, and almost every one of them has aloe in it, right? It's quite amazing. But so what do you think? You obviously know much more about aloe than you did in the 70s. What do you think it is about aloe vera that makes it so unique?
It works.
Yeah. I guess, folks, that's all you need to hear.
Yeah. Aloe, in all the years I've been talking about aloe vera has never let me down, topically or internally. If I tell someone, try some aloe vera, it works. If I tell someone, drink some aloe vera, it usually works.
Yeah.
It's never let me down, and my favorite is the skeptics. Those who tell me, oh, come on, I'm not going to drink this juice. I said, look, do me a favor, just drink it for a week or two and tell me how you feel. And then a week or two goes by and they look at me and they go, oh, I got to admit, Jeff, I'm feeling really good. You're right about the aloe.
Yeah, no, it's it's a great thing. And, usually the first thing I think people feel is their digestive system feels, they just feel, a little more comfort in the digestive system, or they just, feel more, I guess, more energized because, just digesting food's better, but really, I mean, when I look at aloe, it's a pretty complex plant, right? A lot of nutrients and vitamins and all kinds of things, but it doesn't, it has the polysaccharides, which really is complex carbohydrates, but it's not really so much the individual nutrients. It's kind of how they all work together, right?
Right.
I mean,
very much so.
What are your feelings on that?
Well, my feelings is the same as Dr. Davis, Dr. Robert Davis. He wrote a book many years ago called Aloe Vera, A Scientific Approach. And in his book, he coined the phrase the orchestra conductor concept. It's also called the orchestra conductor theory, but it's his theory where the key component is the polysaccharides, and the polysaccharides act as the conductor. Now, an orchestra can make nice music by itself, but once you add the maestro, once you add the conductor, telling which section to hit the notes and which section to play at that particular time, the music is much richer and much fuller. And that's the same theory. If you maintain the key polysaccharides, the important concept is keeping the polysaccharides in the product, in the aloe, and that makes the product better. It makes it work better. Just like the orchestra makes better music, the polysaccharides makes the rest of the components work better. That's a simple, very non-scientific way of saying it, but the key to good aloe is maintaining and retaining the polysaccharides.
The polysaccharides are key. I would even may go a step further that, kind of all the kind of nutrients are actually key in their own way, right? Because you want that kind of orchestra to play its best, and it needs all the instruments, right? But and that's why one of the things I love working with you guys at Aloe Corp is, you were very careful about making sure all those nutrients are intact, after you harvest and, dehydrate the aloe. You want to make sure those enzymes are still there, as well as the, to keep, vitamins, just so that orchestra can really perform and do its thing.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we covered some of the, obviously some of the topical benefits, which are more well known. What, in your mind, an experience, or some of the kind of benefits you could experience, from taking aloe as a supplement?
I think it's the digestive health. I've been drinking aloe since 1977, and I don't remember the last time I got an upset stomach. My system just seems to work perfectly, and everybody that I talk to that drinks aloe, they say the same thing. My GI system is just in tune. It's running like a well-oiled machine, which it should be. That I think if you talk to 7 out of 10 people that are drinking aloe, I think 7 will tell you that they drink it for the digestive health benefit. And one thing I've been thinking about recently is there's a big issue going on right now, a big movement with mental health. Well, my attitude has always been, if you're feeling good, if your stomach is feeling good, if your joints are feeling good, if you're just feel good, that's got to affect your mental health. It's got to make you feel good about your physically I'm feeling well, mentally I'm feeling well.
No, there's no question about it. And, it's interesting that you brought that up because, When a lot of the early aloe research was done with respect to digestive health, no one was ever talking about this concept of the microbiome and prebiotics and all of that stuff and gut health and maintaining healthy gut bacteria. And now you're hearing a lot about that gut-brain axis, right? How important gut health can affect the brain directly, right? So I think there's even more to that. Hopefully somewhere in the future that'll be explored because you know what's neat about to me aloe and the digestive system, it really kind of helps you in like several different ways, right? I mean, we know it can help balance stomach acids, in the gut. We know, I think you guys at Aloe Corp did some great research showing that we take aloe like with I guess it was what, vitamin C, vitamin E, I think B12. You can enhance the absorption and availability of the bioavailability of those nutrients as well. So nutrient absorption is a way that aloe can help. As well as just hope. Like you said, people just feel better, feel the digestive system's working better for them. So, I wouldn't be surprised if someday we really add aloe working as a prebiotic in the intestines to the benefits.
We've seen that. A former, actually, he was a chief science officer at Aloe Corp. His name is Ken Jones. Ken retired, I think it's maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Ken was one of the leading still is one of the leading authorities on aloe vera. I'm still very close friends with him. I talk to him a lot. And he told me years ago about aloe being a prebiotic. And he says to me, you're watching TV lately, you hear a lot about probiotics. A probiotic is something that adds all this good gut bacteria, where a prebiotic stimulates all that good gut bacteria. And sure enough, we saw a lot about probiotics, and now we're starting to see more and more promotion of prebiotics. I just always felt, it's best if your body makes its own defenses. It's best that the body works in conjunction with what you eat. And Ken said this to me. He says, what's better, your body producing your own insulin or adding insulin via injection? I said, okay, well, that's a little dramatic, but what's better than adding that good health bacteria than allowing your body to create that good health bacteria? So prebiotic is a big issue for aloe, and I think it's one of the reasons why it's so good for digestive health.
Yeah, no, I never. Now that you mentioned, I remember Ken did that. Did some work showing how aloe was. I think it was just some in vitro work, some preclinical work, showing how aloe could really, help promote increased levels of some of the key bifidobacteria and some of the other probiotic bacteria, which is a great start. Well, hey, look, I think this is a great project for Barrie and Associates, Ken. I think you should work with some university researchers and try to get an NIH grant or something and really show this. I mean, that'd be a wonderful piece of research for somebody to undertake for sure.
It would be. It would be.
Yeah.
Hope
yeah,
so.
Yeah. It's interesting. And then, of course, aloe has also been shown to help with certain aspects of metabolic health, right? So just helping you maintain, normal levels of blood sugar and cholesterol, and, just really, again, help support the whole metabolic functionality in your body, which is a nice bonus benefit on top of the digestive health.
Right. Plus, one of my favorites is Inside Beauty. Some people are calling it beauty from within. Basically, it's the same thing. And there was an old expression back in the 60s, you are what you eat. That's very true. That's very true, because there's a lot of foods that we can eat that's going to help us maintain healthy skin. And when I say healthy skin, I refer to healthy skin as younger looking skin.
Right.
It all depends on how you take care of it topically and internally, inside and out. So put the creams and lotions with lots of aloe on your face, and make sure you get a good dose of aloe vera every day, and you'll stay happy and healthy.
No, there's no question about it. And that's, I'm just fascinated by this whole gut story. And I mentioned the gut-brain axis, but there's also people talking about the gut-skin axis too, right? So, Again, just aloe's ability to help the intestines as well as perhaps, work from the outside on the skin could be contributing just to helping the appearance, skin, reducing wrinkles and all that type of things that we all enjoy. Um, do you know anything else? Do you have anything? I'm not that familiar. I know you guys did some work with Aloe Corp at, with skin, particularly specifically with taking aloe internally for the skin. Do you know some of the other mechanisms how it may help the skin internally?
Well, we know that aloe does enhance vitamin C, E, and B12. So we're sure that the enhanced vitamins is making a difference in your skin health. Vitamin C is beneficial to skin health. And what that study, this was a study that was done some years ago, but it's a good study, and it showed that when you take your vitamins, in this particular case it was vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin B12, but when you take your vitamins, you're going to see a big spike in the amount of vitamin C in your blood, but then it's going to drop very quickly. If you take your vitamins with a couple of ounces of aloe vera, you're going to see that same spike in vitamin C in your blood. But with the vitamin C and aloe, the vitamin C just seems to last way, way, way longer. It's like all day, within 24 hours. So you're maintaining those vitamins for a longer period of time, and that has to be beneficial. The part with the skin, the study that we did regarding skin health, that was done in Korea in association with the Korean Food and Drug Administration. And the bottom line of that study is that there was a significant reduction in facial wrinkles, a significant increase in skin elasticity, and an increase in collagen production, which is key to good healthy skin. It's just clear as it was plain as day that drinking aloe is going to benefit your skin along with all the other benefits that you get from aloe.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the things you need to be doing is drinking quality aloe.
No, we're gonna get there in a second. I mean, I think the collagen part was what I was trying to recall, and I think what you meant was it reduced the degradation, the breakdown of collagen. Is that what how aloe
No, it
helps?
actually increased the production of collagen.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
they saw an increase in collagen production. It was kind of a minor part of that study. The big thing of that study was the skin wrinkles decreasing and the skin elasticity increasing, and the collagen production was a little bit on the side, but still just great for your skin, great for your stomach, it's just good for general good health.
Yeah. Another sneaky benefit we're seeing in a lot of research of aloe vera that we've tried to take advantage of at Nature City in terms of helping our customers is really oral health in the mouth. And you see a lot of interesting research with respect to aloe vera and oral health. And we put aloe along with two oral prebiotics into a lozenge that dissolves in your mouth and helps. People love that product. It really just helps. Again, improve the whole environment in the mouth in terms of not only soothing the gums but just promoting a more healthy, just like the gut has its own microbiome. The mouth kind of has its own kind of balance of healthy versus bad bacteria, and it's becoming a very, very interesting product that people who don't follow aloe vera research as closely as you or I do may not yet be aware of.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
So you touched on it. To get these benefits, you have to be taking a good quality aloe vera product, and you have to be using an appropriate amount of the aloe too. So maybe you could touch on that. So much of it obviously starts at the source and how the aloe is grown, and then processed after being harvested. What should consumers be look for with respect to how looking for a good product in terms of how it's grown and how it's processed. We don't want to use too much heat, all that type of thing. What can you advise people there?
Well, I worked for Aloe Corp for 25 years. I consult for Aloe Corp. I love Aloe Corp. I love everything about that company, the owner, the employees, the attitude. And the attitude about Aloe Corp was always quality. Uh, there was no second place for any kind of aloe except the best. Uh, Aloe Corp has a brand called Active Aloe, and some companies have used that as label copy. The other thing I like to point out to people is the International Aloe Sciences Council, and some companies are using the IASC certification logo also as label copy.
Yep.
It's really simple. Two things. Look for a product that's using International Aloe Sciences Council certified aloe, or look for a product that's using Aloe Corp's Active Aloe, because Active Aloe is certified by the IASC. It's guaranteed to have a certain amount of polysaccharides, and it's just an excellent quality aloe vera. Sadly, in some cases, you really don't know the quality of the aloe you're getting. We've tested a number of products, and we found some that claimed to be aloe, and there wasn't any aloe in it.
Yep.
And then we saw some that claimed to have a big amount of aloe. We couldn't find more than 1 or 2%. So it's you need to be a good consumer and just make sure you're buying from a quality company like NatureCity, and you're getting a good quality aloe.
No, I mean that's very well said. So, so let's dive a little deeper on a couple of things there, and I definitely want to talk a little bit more about the importance of the IASC, the council you mentioned, and the certification they do of both aloe ingredients and finished products. What are some of the things? So let's see how to break this down. So we're starting with really. Obviously, you hope the aloe is going to be grown in the appropriate conditions, appropriate climate, because that all helps really just kind of maximize the potency of the plant. But what happens after harvesting is really, really important. I know at Aloe Corp you have your process called Q matrix, which involves very low heat. Again, because you don't want to destroy those delicate nutrients, because we want that whole orchestra, as we discussed before, right? So, how important in your view is it to make sure you're buying a product that uses, a process, either a freeze drying process or like Q matrix, like you did with Aloe Corp, because it's all about keeping those nutrients intact. Is that right?
Correct. And there are some aloe growers, processors, suppliers that want to get the aloe out of the leaf and into a drum as quickly as possible, and not caring about the quality of the product. And chances are, when you see a product like that, it's been degraded. The polysaccharides could be degraded into monosaccharides, or they could be down to maybe 1, 2, maybe 3% polysaccharide totals, and it's just not quality aloe. It's dead aloe. You want something that's alive, so it's very important. Aloe has to be hand harvested, and it's also very important that you don't take more than 2 or 3 leaves off an aloe plant during harvest, or the plant goes into shock. Those leaves need to be brought into processing within 3 hours. And started. Otherwise, that gel starts to degrade, and we start to lose some of the benefits of the aloe vera. And then the processing starts. It's not like squeezing oranges. It's much more involved. The green rind has to get stripped off, and the gel has to get processed, and then Aloe Corp puts the aloe into a concentrate, much the same that they use for citrus fruits and citrus juices. And we make an aloe concentrate, and then that goes into this drying technology, which is a fairly new drying technology. It's actually called refractance window drying. Aloe Corp coined the term Q matrix, and we trademarked it. And that's what we call this drying technology. It's a low temperature, short time drying technology, and it's probably the best way to dry. It is the best way to dry aloe, and in my opinion, it's probably the best way to dry any kind of botanical.
No, it's definitely proven to be a great innovation. And before we get to the IASC, one of my pet peeves, and this has gone on now for almost 20 years, is there's a lot of counterfeit aloe vera or adulterated aloe vera in the marketplace. I thought, yeah, I thought for a while we had really conquered um, the problem, but seems to be rearing its head again. Just so our audience understands, whenever you have a popular material, as aloe vera is, unfortunately, you get some opportunistic people who enter the market selling stuff that really isn't pure, or maybe not even be, forget pure, it may not just be aloe at all. It may just be starch or something, and if you see something that's really cheap, well, you know what? It probably isn't aloe. It really isn't. And as Jeff mentioned, they did a lot of testing of products at Aloe Corp. You know, as many others have, and it is a true problem. And we're going to talk about how you can overcome that and find a good aloe product with the IASC certification in a second. But Jeff, I mean, what are you seeing? You're closer to it, than even I am. What do you see in terms of adulterated or counterfeit aloe out there?
I'm seeing more now than I've seen in the last few years, and it breaks my heart, quite frankly. And like you, it's one of my pet peeves. Over the years, we have tested, and particularly powders. It's really easy to adulterate powder. We tested some. Some were pure, very good quality aloe, and we tested one. It was pure maltodextrin. There was not a drop of aloe or a flake of aloe in that particular product. This particular company, and she told me she paid $230 for a kilo of maltodextrin, which you could buy for about $3. So it is a real problem. It's something that I want to really focus on now that I've got a lot more time being retired, and I want to just expose this a little bit more than it has been. One of the things, as we mentioned earlier, the IASC has their certification program. Every year, all the members, if you want your product certified, you submit it to the IASC. It gets sent out at a third-party lab, an independent third-party lab for testing. And if it meets the parameters, then you have certified product. You can have certified raw materials, and you can have certified finished products. Of course, the certified finished product has to have certified aloe in it. That's pretty much a no-brainer, but it's a way of showing that, hey, these products are pure. This is a good quality product. That's really just, and quite frankly, Carl, and I've said this, and I've said this, and I've said this, if a product is not IASC certified, then you really have no idea what you're getting. It could be good, perfect quality aloe. It could be pure maltodextrin or something in between. But look for quality. And the other thing that I've got is, it's besides the adulteration issue that's going on, it's the misrepresentation issue that's going on. It's the misinformation that's going on. There's some capsules, aloe capsules, that are on the market now, and you look at the bottle, and on the front of it, it says 10,000 milligrams. Well, 10,000 milligrams may sound like a lot, but it's actually maybe a third of an ounce of aloe vera juice. That's it, and that's not enough. That is not enough to really give you the benefits that aloe has. That would be like me telling you, oh, you have a headache, take half an aspirin and call me in the morning. Half an aspirin is not going to help your headache, and a third of an ounce of aloe vera juice is not going to give you any of the great benefits that aloe vera has.
Right. So 10,000 milligrams refers to what the fresh aloe content is.
Right.
But aloe, it's really, you're getting 50 milligrams of a 200 to 1 aloe, so that's where they get the 10,000. And
very, very, just flat out cheating, if you ask me.
Yeah. No, it's it definitely embellishes things for sure. I mean, I think, if I recall correctly, I think it's 150 milligrams of aloe is about 1 ounce of fresh gel. So yeah, you're right on. You'd be getting really a third of an ounce with the 50 milligrams, which, again, is not going to be doing a whole lot for you, most likely. And look, and that's just if people who are actually giving you maybe real aloe.
Yeah,
And you
right.
have this other issue where, and that really, you talk about it really does break your heart because, we know aloe could do so much for people and so much for our bodies. And it's really terrible when people are using counterfeit product, call them counterfeit. I guess they are counterfeit or fraudulent products, saying they're aloe when they're not. And they say, you know what, that aloe really, I tried aloe, really didn't help me. It's like, well, were you really using aloe? I mean, it's really sad if they tried something that wasn't aloe and came to an opinion that may not be a valid one about the plant, right?
Exactly. And Carl, to add insult to injury, we tested some products and reported back to the company, the final manufacturer. We said, hey, you're using bogus aloe. This isn't real aloe. It's full of maltodextrin. And first it said, "Oh my God, I can't. Oh, that can't be. That can't be." But then after a couple of days, they realized, yeah, there's still aloe in it, and it's cheap, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I've had customers tell me that. Yeah, we're okay with it. We'll just keep using what we've got. There is some aloe in it. We're not saying how much aloe, but we're okay with it.
No, I mean it happens a lot. Was that like a topical product? Was that ingestible?
This was a topical.
Yeah, no, I mean you see that all the time, and we talk about that a lot. We have a topical aloe product, which we call it's really a double strength product. So normally like aloe being a 200 to 1. How do I explain this very easily for people? Basically, aloe basically is made up. If you take a liter of aloe, 0.5% is actually aloe, we call aloe solids.
Correct.
The rest of it being water.
Right.
Right. So aloe gel, pure aloe gel is basically 0.5% or half of 1% of these aloe solids. So you would expect when you buy an aloe gel, which is promoted as, potent aloe vera gel or single strength aloe gel to have that same 0.5%. We do with our gels, we actually double up. We go 1% to make it double strength. But what we found, and you've seen this too, I'm sure, is a lot of those products are not even single strength. There's just a speck of aloe in there just to get the marketing claim. But again, it's really disingenuous to me. And if you really care about your customers, you shouldn't be doing that.
Exactly. And we find it more and more in topicals, but we've also seen it in juices. We've tested the juice, and we found some where it should be 0.5%. We found it 0.2, 0.1, very, very low amounts of aloe solids in those particular products. But
Yeah.
They're selling and people are buying them, and I just wish they would be looking at a quality product and using a quality product. And I think the difference in the benefits that they're getting will be significantly better.
So back to the AISC, which I mean, how would you describe the IASC for someone who doesn't know what it is, Jeff?
The IASC it's a nonprofit business development group. We act as a watchdog over the industry. That's one of the things. The heart of the IASC is the certification program where you can have your product certified. But the IASC has done a lot of good things, which has definitely helped the aloe business over the years. And one of those was a few years ago, California has what they call Proposition 65, where if any product has any kind of a hint that it might cause cancer, it goes on the Prop 65 list. So California wanted to put Prop 65, wanted to put aloe vera on the Prop 65 list. The IASC got involved. We met with the Food and Drug Administration, and we quickly pointed out to the FDA that, wait a second, the product that was tested is non-decolorized whole leaf aloe vera. Well, you can't buy non-decolorized whole leaf aloe vera in the US. Nobody's making it. So we pointed that out to them, and the FDA was right there, and they listened intently, as a matter of fact. And it came down to, they said, okay, When we describe the aloe that is used in this study, it will be non-decolorized whole leaf aloe vera. And that's what's listed on Prop 65. Non-decolorized whole leaf aloe vera. You can't buy that in the United States, but it's on the list and it needs some explanation. But once we explain to people what the story is, it's no problem. I'm good with it.
So let's try to fill in some blanks for users who may not be familiar with some of the terminology we're discussing here. So what Jeff is referring to, aloe has outside the gel. If you look at the plant, there's like a yellowish colored sap, I guess, or aloe latex. It kind of just covers the plant, which contains a high concentration of these compounds called anthraquinones. Okay, there's aloin, there's amodin. These compounds you don't want in your aloe product, okay, because they have really, really strong laxative properties, too strong. And I think for a long, long time, those have not been sold in aloe products in the United States. So it would be misleading to put aloe on some list of expressing some cautions about cancer or whatever with these anthraquinones in it, because those products are not sold here, and if they are, you shouldn't be using them. Certainly shouldn't be using them without a doctor's supervision. So aloe is basically being mischaracterized in the marketplace by certain regulators, and that's where I think the IASC jumped in to say, wait a second, you're not talking about a product that's sold in the marketplace, and you're just misleading customers, maybe causing concerns that don't really exist. Is that a good characterization, Jeff?
Very much so. Excellent. And quite frankly, Carl, if this NatureCity thing doesn't work out for you, I'll get you a job selling aloe vera. You're quite knowledgeable.
Thank you. Hey, Jeff, there's only one about 200 nutrients I need to be up to speed on. So you get to do aloe. I got to do like a lot of these.
There was also, more recently, there was a similar issue in Europe.
Yes.
And the European Commission wanted to ban internal use of aloe vera. That's how serious they were about it. And again, the IASC got heavily involved along with a number of other consumer groups and got them to raise the limit where it was supposed to be, they wanted it banned, they allowed it to be 10 ppm anthraquinones. And meeting 10 ppm anthraquinones is easy. Every company should be able to do that. So, but again, there's the IASC working to make the industry better and helping the industry.
No, there's no question about it. And look, I think we should mention one of the things that the IASC tests for in its certification process. By the way, NatureCity only uses IASC certified aloe vera materials. And we also have our True Aloe product that's certified by the IASC. But one of the things that it tests for, in addition to the polysaccharide and the potency content, is the level of these, potentially harmful anthraquinones.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know. I think, Jeff, you still got to be below 10 parts per million
10 ppm
to qualify. I know Aloe Corp's. I know that all the aloe materials we use are routinely well below 1. I mean, almost close to 0. Right?
Yeah, the IASC limit is 10 ppm. Aloe Corp's limit is 1 ppm. Right. We have no problem getting that, or I should say Aloe Corp has no problem getting that. But better to be safe than sorry, and do it right.
Right. And without these compounds in there, without these anthraquinones, which again really are not in products in the U.S. marketplace, aloe has been shown to be a very, very, very safe supplement to take over.
Absolutely. I know people like me.
Years and years.
I know a lot of people like me have been drinking aloe for 40, 45 years, and just feel great and do great and look great. So
no, that's great. But it does bring up a point though. If you have an aloe plant, your home, backyards, wherever, and you do want to kind of cut off a fresh leaf and use aloe, the aloe gel in a smoothie, whatever, you want to wash off that yellow sap, that latex, for the same reasons we're discussing. It contains those anthraquinones that we don't want. So just be careful of that. Or you can just buy our products and not worry about it because it won't be in there either. So
That's what I tell people.
Jeff, how much aloe you think would you recommend people take daily? Just for general wellness, digestive health, and some of the other things we talked about.
I always suggest 2 ounces. 2 ounces has been an efficacious dose. It's 2 ounces has been used in a number of studies with positive outcomes. So it's definitely 2 ounces a day should keep the doctor away.
Right.
That equates, like you brought up earlier, Carl, that equates to 150 milligrams of the 200X powder. 200X comes from, again, you mentioned aloe is 0.5% solid, so 0.5% solid. So 0.5 times 200, we're back to 100%. So that little amount of solids, you add all that water back into it, you got your aloe vera juice, and you've got your 0.5% solids. If you're taking a capsule, then I say 300 milligrams of aloe vera powder a day is equivalent to 2 ounces, which is an efficacious dose. Some people take more. I don't know why. I know one person takes about 6 ounces a day, and all he's doing is creating very expensive urine. It's too much to be assimilated into the body. So 2 ounces is more than enough.
Great. So before we wrap up, what else? What do you think the future for aloe holds, or what would you like to see? As we move forward with respect to aloe vera.
I'd like to see a bottle of aloe in everybody's refrigerator, or a jar of your product in everybody's cupboard, and everybody taking aloe as a supplement. I don't think so. But the future of aloe is very bright. It's strong. It's growing. The CAGRs for the next 7, 8, 9 years is 6, 7, 8%. Imports are growing. Production is growing. There's new fields being planted in Mexico all the time. China is very into aloe vera. I'm reading reports of aloe farms growing in Africa. Wherever it's warm, wherever you're not going to get a freeze, you can grow aloe. And we're going to see more and more aloe products. We're going to see more and more aloe being used in supplements. More and more aloe being used in topicals, more and more aloe juices for sale. Aloe's here to stay because it works.
Agreed. Well, look, the more people that get exposed to real quality aloe vera products, I agree, the better. But again, emphasis, folks, is on quality.
Exactly.
So, it's really important to find out where your aloe is from. Make sure it's certified by the AAA. Why am I struggling with this today? I always say this. The IASC, the International Aloe Sciences Council, seal of approval. The seal means it's real, right?
That's exactly right.
So anyway, well, Jeff, really, this has been great. I'm sure people got a lot of value out of it. So thank you so much for making time. Again, if you're interested in learning more about aloe vera or NatureCity's aloe vera products, you can find them on naturecity.com. And I really, again, Jeff, thank you so much. And, look forward to continuing the conversation at a later date.
My pleasure, Carl, and thank you very much for having me. And if there's anything I can do for you and Beth, give me a call.
We absolutely will. So that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.